There are all kinds of reasons why we buy audio components. It might be an impulse buy. You see a cool review like this, and you pull the trigger. Maybe you need an upgrade to your system or even a complete revamping. Sometimes it's just fun to get something new, a little retail therapy when you've got the blues. Then sometimes you need a piece of gear to solve a specific problem. The SMSL M300se DAC / balanced headphone amp / preamp is that kind of equipment. It solved a problem for me. Hi, I'm Bob, and you are in the United States of Analog. Welcome. Please help my new channel to grow by liking and subscribing and doing some of that YouTube stuff that you do down below. I'd really appreciate it. Now we're going to get a little digital. I know this is the United States of Analog, but we're going to get a little digital today as we dive back into the FunFi class of products and turn to SMSL once again. Now, after reviewing their fabulous little A200 integrated amplifier a few weeks ago, I wondered if SMSL could solve a little problem I was having. All right, problem is a strong word, so let's just say a challenge. I wanted to have a little headphone listening station on my bedside table. Now, here's my current setup. It's probably a lot like yours. There you go. It's right side up now. All right, now it's right side up. It's probably a lot like yours, right? Sounds like an easy thing to solve, but here are some of my challenges. Real estate. I don't have a lot of room to play with on my bedside table. I've got glasses, my phone, headphones, everything. I don't want to spend a lot of money either. I'm a card-carrying tightwad. And inconvenience, I already own a great headphone setup in my reference system upstairs. But I don't want to have to disconnect and reconnect and move the gear around every time I want to listen in the bedroom. I'm talking about my beloved Geshelli Labs AKM DAC and Archel 3 Pro headphone amp. So I wanted to try to duplicate that sound to a degree, that experience, in a smaller form factor and with a smaller cash outlay, okay? That's the premise. So into my life comes this cool little black box right here. It's the SMSL M300se. It's a DAC, it's a dedicated headphone amp, and it can also be used as a preamp. It comes with a remote and it comes in at $129 or so. So we're off to a pretty good start already. That's not a lot out of my pocket. Remember, this is both a potential DAC and headphone combo solution, easily under $150, and it solves the problem for me. Now, onto the physical form factor, which is a little different. In fact, its shape reminds me of like a single sleeve cracker box, or even the air filter box. Oh no, this is actually a water filter. The water filter box I use in my water heater. It's about 3 inches tall, 2.75 wide, 6.75 deep, before you screw in the little Bluetooth antenna in the back, which will take it to about 8.5 inches. Now, in the past and in reviews on YouTube, I've seen this unit, and I never really gave it a second look because of its form factor. But, when I started considering the available width of space I had to work with on my bedroom table, turns out the M300se fits that requirement pretty nicely. Form factor, dimensions, and physical suitability aside, though, what do we have inside? Good question. In the past, sometimes you couldn't be sure what was inside some of these FunFi products. That's what I've named them, those products with high value that come from, far away. Those products often made spectacular, amazing performance claims that sometimes they couldn't live up to, and you never knew quite what was inside the box. I think SMSL has done a pretty good job lately loading their gear with tech from suppliers we've actually heard of, like Cirrus Logic, JRC, Infineon, and MQA. Ooh, MQA. You know how much I love MQA, right? They're being more transparent in their promotional materials as well. And while you might take some of their performance numbers and specs with a grain of salt when you see them, I think given this small price point, $129 or so, I think there's a pretty good chance at the end of the day you can feel pretty good about your purchase given the tech that, we've been provided here. Now, I think that makes a lot of sense. It also made sense with the 200 amplifier I reviewed, and I suspected that I would have a similar level of customer satisfaction with the M300se, so let's take a look at it. You can look up the specs if it's super important to you, and I suspect it is, but this is, again, a $129 all-in kind of combo unit. Stated dynamic range, 120 dB or better, depending on the input. You got Bluetooth 5, low noise. On the front, you've got on-off selector button. You can select and adjust by pushing and turning the volume knob as well. Both 1/4 inch single-ended and a 4.5 millimeter balanced headphone out included right there on the front. You can adjust the screen brightness, so that's great for a bedroom operation. The display indicates volume level, input, resolution, and notifies if MQA is being unfolded. Put your comments below. I know you hate MQA. I happen to dig it. On the back, XLR, balanced outputs, mini, single-ended out, coax in, optical in, Bluetooth antenna, power in, and a 5-volt auxiliary out to power a small device like my attached WIIM mini streamer, or as John Darko says, WIIM mini streamer. Take your pick. But it's a nice touch. That's it. That's basically the unit. So are you ready to part with your $129 yet? Inside, it has the same 43 131 chips, there's 2 of them, as the powerful amp I reviewed not too long ago. MQA decoding, for what it's worth, if you're a title user, I think this still has some value for you. The M300se supports PCM to 32768 and DSD to 256, and there's 5 PCM filters that are way above my pay grade. But for a few minutes, I thought filter number 4 sounded best. But I was probably in some kind of delusional fever dream just before I passed out. I just keep it on 1 and I forget that I have that option. There's Japanese NDK clocking for low jitter performance. I just said some words there. And there's a lot more tech inside. Listen, if I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. I listen with my ears and sometimes out of necessity my wallet. But I'm confident that SMSL has been sincere in the components they've chosen, given the value they've provided in the M300se. It feels and sounds quality. And that brings me to the star of the show, I think, the dedicated headphone amp. In most DAC headphone amp combo units at this price, the headphone amp is kind of an afterthought, not too great. But here, sound is actually quite beautiful, with headphones up to 32 ohms. I could not detect much distortion, if any at all, or noise for that matter. Just listen to Fleetwood Mac's Everywhere or Never Going Back Again. I did, courtesy of my WIIM Mini and Title. And Lindsey Buckingham's guitar was nice and sparkly, and the band's layered voices were in full MQA glory. Now, you may not have MQA. I think this is going to sound good in any case. The music had much more air and separation than I even expected. And you know, I don't want to go back to MQA, but I will. I don't know why people hate on it. It's a mystery to me. I'm sure I'll get many heated answers below. I'm just glad it's here so I can use it when I want to. And you should feel the same way. All right, enough about MQA already. I think it's pretty much bankrupt. But SMSL claims that there's impedance detection in here to adapt to different headphones. I'll take their word for it. And why wouldn't I? The proof is in the sound, all right? So I confine my listening to just headphones, as that's how I will be using the 300se in the BR. I utilize my Emotiva GR1s, which I like very much, and the surprisingly nimble, check this, $40 lightweight cost KPH 40s, which kind of remind me of my old Sennheiser 414s in their kind of weight and form factor and delivery. I still wish I had the 414s from yesteryear, but I don't. I also don't have any balanced phones right now, so I can't currently report on that sound. I'm assuming it'll be great, though. Just to confirm, the DAC was for real. I originally connected it up to my Geshelli Labs Archel 3 Pro headphone amp, and the results, as you would imagine, were great. And the Archel's tone controls were a nice added bonus, as the 300se does not include any tone control. But sadly, the Gishelli had to return to the big system upstairs, the reference system, where it belongs. But I found the SMSL on its own did the trick, famously. The headphone section, maybe not equaling the $500 Gishelli, is certainly the peer of my little beloved Hi-Rez headphone amp. And that's saying a lot. It equaled it in clarity, fullness, that sparkle that we like. If you look at it that way, you're getting a nice DAC thrown in for pennies here, right? And with the 300se, there's no need to put together a stack. I love stacks, don't get me wrong, but you don't have to. I don't have much space, so this is a great solution. One of my goals was to create a system of good sound and simplicity, and I managed to do it with one unit. Remember, in a previous lesson, we talked about managing your audio expectations. So don't hit me up in the comments. I mean, you can. It's still a free country, at least it is for now. But, you know, I know there are much better DACs in the world. There are much better headphone amps out there. I know that, silly. But it's a great, big, wonderful world out there, and there's all kinds of gear. And I'm just saying I had a challenge that needed to be met, and the SMSL stepped up to the plate, took a big swing, and if it's not a home run, it's a stand-up triple, okay? This is the SMSL M300se combo unit. It sells for $129 to your porch, and I can tell you, in the 2 short weeks I've been enjoying my music late at night with the M300se by my side, I already feel like it's paid for itself. I'm not lying. It's a no-brainer for bedroom, desktop, budget hi-fi system. Throw it in the suitcase and take it to the beach on vacation or what. Well, don't take it to the beach. You're going to get sand in the headphone ports. But I mean, you know what I'm saying. Throw it in the suitcase. Take it with you on vacation. And if you don't like headphone listening, then just use the DAC. Who's going to stop you? Let me know in the comments below what music you like to listen to on your favorite headphones late at night when everything is turned down low. Also, let me suggest the textural experimental Dark Side of the Moon redo from Roger Waters, or U2's acoustical Songs of Surrender for some after-hours listening enjoyment. They're both headphone heaven. So that's it. I'll see you next time on the United States of Analog.